The sea has a way of lying to you. That night, it looked calm. Too calm. No wind strong enough to snap the sails. No stars bright enough to guide us. Just a thick black sky pressing down on the water like it wanted to drown the world in silence. I remember standing on the deck of the Black Marrow, my boots damp with salt water, listening to the slow groan of the ship's wooden ribs as if it were breathing, struggling to stay alive. I was the navigator. That was my job. Charts, stars, compass, logic, order. But nothing on my maps explained why the compass needle kept twitching, spinning slightly, then settling in the wrong direction. "Stop messing with it," Captain Harlan growled behind me. "The sea doesn't like nervous men." I didn't answer. I just swallowed and stared at the horizon, where the water met the dark and disappeared completely. We were pirates, yes, but not the singing, laughing kind from stories. We were men running from something. Law, pasts, debts, guilt. The sea took us in because it doesn't ask questions. It just takes payment later. That horn didn't belong to us. Every man on deck froze. It came again. Low, stretched, wrong. Like a dying animal calling for help from miles away. "There are no trade routes here," I said, my throat suddenly dry. "No ports. No ships." Captain Harlan narrowed his eyes. "Then it's bait." The crew murmured. Some made signs against evil. Others tightened their grip on cutlasses and pistols. The fog rolled in fast, swallowing the moonlight whole. Within minutes, the world shrank to the length of our deck. Water slapped against the hull, closer now, louder. That's when we saw it. A ship, just drifting. Its sails were torn, hanging like dead skin. No lanterns, no flags. The hull was blackened, scarred with marks that didn't look like cannon fire, more like deep, uneven gouges. "What ship leaves marks like that?" someone whispered. Nobody answered. Captain Harlan ordered us alongside. I should have spoken up. Every instinct screamed at me that this was wrong. But fear has a way of turning your voice into dust. We boarded her. The deck was slick, not with water, but with something darker, thick, sticky, old. The smell hit next, rot, iron, and something sour underneath, like meat left too long in the sun. "Crew?" Harlan called out. No answer. Below deck, we found them. Bodies. Or what used to be bodies. They were still sitting where they'd worked, hands frozen on ropes, eyes wide open, mouths stretched in silent screams. Skin pulled tight against bone, faces twisted as if whatever killed them didn't stop at death. It kept going. One man still clutched a journal. I picked it up. The pages were warped, ink smeared, but the last entry was readable. Day 19. The sea is wrong. It whispers at night. It knows our names. A sudden sound echoed through the ship. Every head snapped upward. "Did you hear that?" Someone breathed. Another step. Closer. Captain Harlan raised his pistol. "Show yourself." Silence. Then a whisper, low and wet, slid through the air. "Turn back." One of our crew bolted, ran for the ladder. He never made it. The shadows moved, not like a man, not like anything with bones. It flowed out from the corner of the deck, rising, stretching, pulling itself into a shape that almost looked human, but wrong in every place that mattered. Its face flickered, changing, like it couldn't decide who it wanted to be. And then it smiled. Gunshots rang out. Blades swung through empty air. The thing didn't rush us. It didn't need to. It just watched. People started screaming, not from pain, but from recognition. One by one, crew members dropped their weapons, clutching their heads, whispering names, crying. My son, my wife, I'm sorry. The thing leaned close to one of them and inhaled. The man collapsed, lifeless, eyes hollow like something had been pulled straight out of him. Back to the ship, Harlan shouted. We ran. So I jumped back onto the black marrow. I felt it. Something brushing past me, cold as deep water. I didn't look back. The rope snapped free. Sails caught wind that hadn't been there moments before. Behind us, the ghost ship began to sink, slowly, deliberately, dragged down by hands we couldn't see. The sea closed over it without a ripple. No one spoke for a long time. Then Captain Harlan turned to us, his face pale in the lantern light. We don't talk about this, he said quietly. Ever. But that night, as I lay below deck, listening to the ship creak and the waves crash, I heard it again. Not from the sea, from inside the walls of our ship. We followed you. And I knew, deep down, that whatever we left behind did not stay behind. By morning, the sea pretended nothing had happened. The fog was gone, the sky was pale and empty, and yet, the black marrow felt heavier, like it was carrying something it shouldn't. None of us said it out loud, but we all felt it. Something came back with us. I noticed it first in the navigator's cabin. The compass, my compass, was spinning again. Not wildly, calmly, slowly turning until the needle pointed straight down, toward the ship's belly. Not north, down. That's when I remembered the journal, the cursed logbook. I hadn't told anyone I kept it. I pulled it out from beneath my bunk. Overnight, the pages had changed. Ink that was once smeared now looked fresh, dark, wet, like it had just been written. The new entry read, Day 20. It crossed with us. The sea does not forgive debt. It collects. I slammed the book shut. Above deck, someone screamed. By the time I reached them, 3 crew members were standing in a circle around Jonah, the youngest among us. He was on his knees, rocking back and forth, staring at his hands. They won't stop moving, he whispered. His fingers were twitching, bending in ways fingers shouldn't bend. Veins bulged black beneath his skin, crawling upward like worms. Captain Harlan grabbed him. What did you touch? Jonah looked up slowly, eyes glassy. I hear the water, he said. It's inside me now. Then he smiled. Not Jonah's smile. Something else was using his face. Before anyone could react, Jonah hurled himself overboard. We rushed to the railing. Nothing surfaced. No bubbles, no struggle. Just calm water and the faint sound of breathing. That night, the changes spread. One man stopped sleeping, standing at the bow for hours, whispering apologies to the sea. Another refused food, saying he could taste salt in everything. Skin grew pale, eyes sank deep. Voices grew hoarse, like they'd been screaming underwater for too long. I confronted the captain with the logbook. He went quiet when he read it. "This isn't a ship's journal," he said finally. "It's a ledger." I frowned. For what? For debt. He told me the truth then. Years ago, before I joined the crew, Harlan had led a raid on a vessel rumored to carry cursed gold, offerings stolen from a coastal cult. They slaughtered the crew, dumped the cargo, and fled. But one thing survived, a thing the cult worshipped, not a god, a collector. Something older than maps, older than names, a presence bound to the sea that feeds on guilt, fear, and memory. It doesn't kill quickly. It keeps you. The ghost ship wasn't drifting. It was a warning. By the third night, the sea changed. The waves began moving against the wind. The ship's horn blasted on its own, long and mournful. Crew members started disappearing. No splashes, no screams, just empty boots on deck, still warm. I woke to footsteps circling my bunk, breathing close to my ear. "You read the book," a voice whispered. "That means you remember." I didn't turn around. I didn't have to. I knew what I'd see. The entity didn't have a true form. It borrowed pieces, faces from drowned sailors, voices from men who begged the sea for mercy and never got it. It lived where water meets fear, and now it lived here, in our ship, in us. The captain gathered the remaining crew at dawn. Half of us were gone. Those who remained looked wrong. Eyes reflecting light like deep water. Movements slightly delayed, as if controlled from a distance. "We can still end this," Harlan said, voice shaking. "The ledger says the debt must be paid willingly." Everyone looked at him. He nodded once, then stepped to the edge of the ship. Before he jumped, he looked at me. "Burn the book," he said, "and never sail again." He went overboard without a sound. The sea churned violently, then stilled. For a moment, I thought it worked. Then the logbook screamed. The pages flipped wildly, stopping on a final entry written in a hand I recognized. Mine. Debt accepted. Balance incomplete. Hands grabbed me. The remaining crew. Their mouths opened and the sea spoke through them. "You remember," they said together. "You navigate." They dragged me to the railing. I fought. I screamed. The water below was black, waiting, breathing. And then everything stopped. The ship lurched. A naval horn blasted in the distance. Lights cut through the dark. The crew froze. I collapsed. The official report says a patrol vessel found the Black Marrow drifting, abandoned. No crew, no signs of struggle, no logbook. Just one man, me, half dead, clinging to the mast. They say trauma made me imagine the rest. But sometimes, at night, I hear water moving where it shouldn't. And when I look at my hands, salt still leaks from my skin. Because the sea didn't forgive the debt. It just postponed collection.